Wow, I don't know what happened. That's that working that apple. All right, let me make sure it's all good. Okay, I think we're back up there. Thank you so much, Miranda. Sorry about that. I didn't notice that. Thanks for popping up there. So again, what I was just talking about was the American Rescue Plan. The county currently has $12 million, received the $6 million tranche. The second one will be forthcoming. We've only committed about $450,000. That's for digitization of the recorder of deeds to take their documents all the way back so that title searchers and others have full online access to do their research. We are waiting for the final guidance, after which the concept I've been working on, it's a Carbon County GAP grant for those entities and organizations that haven't previously received any COVID or CARES Act like funding. So the Carbon County Block Grant COVID-19, the CARES Act PPP, Paycheck Protection Program, EIDL, the venue grant. There was a hospitality grant with CARES Act. So if you're a business or an organization that has received absolutely no funding from the government through the CARES funding that just keeps pouring down on top of us seemingly, this Carbon County GAP grant is expected to provide one last opportunity to provide you resources in a timely fashion. And I'm hoping to have that really wrapped up by the end of the year. Max amount would be $10,000. Now, you still would have to fall within the requirements of the American Rescue Plan, and those are still being hammered out. So stay tuned for that, but the draft is done. It's been checked once or twice. So we're going to be ready to go once that final rule comes out. Animal Shelter Commission, what's going on there? It seems like forever since we took the applications. All the applications came in. We had just a few, let's see, just under 15 applications. Excellent applications. I was overwhelmed by the quality of applicants. I'm serious. We have paying jobs that don't get nearly as good as applicants as the Animal Shelter Commission, the advisory commission. We did narrow it down to R5. Rocky Wayne and I decided on our R5. This past week, we had due by 20 September. So it would have been just a few days ago, we had due our initial guidance to those 5. Now, we haven't announced them yet. We want to have our guidance all prepared. So it is my hope and aspiration that as early as next Thursday, we can be making the announcement to the 5 selected to form up the inaugural Animal Shelter Advisory Commission. And again, that's going to start out with establishing bylaws first and foremost. And once we get those bylaws approved, it's going to be taking off, helping to develop the policies, the strategies necessary to take that shelter to the next level. So that is moving along and has not been forgotten at all. If you're just joining me, I'm Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasiewicz. This is Carbon Matters live streaming, special solo edition. Maggie's down helping some friends do some work at their rental beach house down in the Sandbridge area of Virginia. She heads back tomorrow. Look forward to her. And I know she's with Emma from Mahoning Township. Emma, I hope you and Maggie are having a great time. I know you guys are working hard down there, but I know the rain also at the same time gave you an opportunity today to do something other than work. So look forward to having you both back to Carbon County tomorrow before 4 o'clock. All right. Expect here shortly. Just saw the final version of the contract for the web redesign. So carboncounty.com is going through, or will be going through an evolution. I expect it might be more revolutionary in its change. The contract would begin January of 2022, and within about 21 to 24 weeks, we should be launching the new county website. Again, it's about pushing out information. It's about making information much more easily found for the residents and others who have to access the departments under the commissioners. So again, the revamp umbrella are the departments that fall under the Board of Commissioners. Doesn't include the row offices. It does not include the judiciary. We will link to those sites, of course, but again, 100% new, completely refreshing look, 2021 look and feel of a website. That's going to be the Board of Commissioners and those 21 departments that fall under their direct authority and responsibility. So really look forward to that upgrade to the website and the increased interaction and opportunity it's going to create for citizen engagement. Just like the live streaming we now have with all our public meetings there in the county. So keep your eyes open for that. So moving on, and I know we only have about 15 or 20 minutes left. It's interesting, I no longer, with the glasses, I can't see the clock on the computer, so I apologize. I'm going to turn around and take a quick look. We're right about 20 minutes left. Let's lighten it up a little bit because I still have to get through some newspaper articles. Lights at the lake. That is continuing to build. I think it's nearing final consideration for the approval. So that's Riley Lights, who are providing a holiday light service to support Raise the House from Palmerton, which will be running about a mile-long trail of lights, which you drive through, kind of like Hershey Park lights. I think there's one down at the zoo, maybe in the Lehigh Valley also. That may be a walkthrough on that one, if I recall correctly. But it'll be out at Mock Chunk Lake Park, about a mile-long route through the lake, beach area, campground area. So you're coming in the beach entrance or boat launch A, and you'll eventually work your way through the park, through the camping area, and come out by the camp store where the treadles are, right? The don't enter from this direction treadles. That's going to be starting at the end of November through December into the first weekend in January, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But stay tuned for that. Keep your eye on Raise the House Facebook page. I'm sure you're going to see Light at the Lakes. You're going to see a lot of publicity. The Borough of Jim Thorpe and Summit Hill have approved it. The county is simply waiting on one liability certificate from Riley's. That goes to the Parks and Recreation Commission. They'll hold a special meeting specifically to review the packet. Then they'll push their recommendations to the Board of Commissioners, and at our next regularly scheduled meeting, we'll put it up for the vote. But I will tell you, everyone is extremely excited about the possibility of bringing a new attraction to the area over the holidays, generate revenue for Raise the House and other participating volunteer organizations. And already, again, I know the fire police in the Carbon County area are stepping up already to help out there, as they regularly do. So thank you so much for doing that. So keep your eyes open for Lights at the Lake, sponsored by Raise the House and Riley Decorative Holiday Lighting. Let me talk. So, work climate survey. So January of this year, the Board of Commissioners voted in the affirmative to conduct a work climate survey. We have a tentative vendor to do that. It actually is the same vendor that is doing what's being referred to as the salary study. I think salary is only really a small portion of it. It's really about job descriptions, understanding what people do, and then defining that and putting that into words, and then comparing those job descriptions across the continuum, right, or across the labor force, comparative jobs, and get to some realistic salaries here in Carbon County. But I'm really talking about the work climate survey, because the salary survey is already taking place. So the work climate survey is our opportunity, the Board of Commissioners, to get a sense of the community, and that is county government. Up to the 400 employees, get their sense of how is their work environment? Are they being provided the training, the education, the resources to do the job that the citizens of this county expect of them, right? We want to understand, how's their work environment? Do they see ways to improve? You know, I am shocked that there's not suggestion boxes in every building in the county, right? Every organization I've ever belonged to had a suggestion box. I can remember earning $250 in 1993 in Panama for a safety improvement for jump masters, right? That was the incentive. Create a jump master handbook of potential malfunctions, get it out to the force. You know, you got to go ahead and energize innovation. We don't do it here in the county. Hopefully that climate survey will provide an opportunity previously not given to our employees, where they can voice their opinion in a voluntary, anonymous manner. And shame on those who don't participate. Let me emphasize this, right? Hear me now, those who don't want to participate. And I'm not talking about individual employees. I'm talking about the resistors, the row officers who don't want their people to participate. Think about this. Why would you not give your employees the opportunity to have their voices anonymously heard? What do you fear? You fear transparency, you fear the truth. Come on, I saw your narratives, I saw your writings, I hear what you're writing, I see what you're writing, but I really know what you're saying. You fear transparency, you fear the truth. No organization I've ever been to has not been willing to give its employees the opportunities to say, we will not participate, row officers. And you know who I'm talking about. Shame on you. Shame on you. All right, let's get off the soapbox here now. And for those who are participating or who will participate, thank you, because it will make a difference, because that's my promise to you. It may be small changes, it may be small differences, but you give to that survey, I'll ensure I give my time, money, and energy to make a difference in the quality of your work environment. Every once in a while, I get teed off on some of these things, the resistors. All right, interesting. I got it on this emergency rental assistance program. Carbon County just got over another $1 million of rental assistance. So I think we're probably in the neighborhood of $5.5 million. We have about $1 million expended. We have a long way to go with that program. So if you're in need of rental assistance, if you're in need of utilities assistance in arrears, so in debt, or going forward, I need you to reach out to Catholic Charities, the Allentown Diocese, Emergency Rental Assistance, Carbon County, Catholic Charities, Allentown Diocese. Just Google it. It'll get you to the online application. Put in an application. If you need it, it's there for you, but you have to apply. All right, Emergency Rental Assistance Program. The money is there if you need it. All right, let me see. I want to remind everyone, it's on the top right here. Again, just like we started, 40 days in a wake up, election day. Two major races at the county level, not to diminish the school district races that are also taking place, and a few up at the state level, but those are judges that are taking place. Tough to do the research on those judges to figure out who's a good candidate for the position of judge, but I would ask you to attempt to do any research you can if you are going to cast a vote. At the county level, right, the two races that are taking place, the treasurer race, an individual from Palmerton, I'll be honest, no name recognition, Republican. I don't know him. I don't know his name. I'm gonna be honest, not impressed. The Democrat candidate, Fran Heaney, Pat Heaney, classmate of mine from Immaculate Conception. Fran Heaney, living up there in Nesquehoning. Again, you guys got to make the decision, do your research on that. Find the best possible individual to replace the irreplaceable. That's a shout out to Ronnie Sheehan, current treasurer. And truth be told, neighbor grew up with Ronnie. He was basically right across the alley growing up. So I have deep affection for Ronnie, but more importantly, I have great respect for his professionalism, his knowledge, his willingness to share it. There's not a time I don't interact with Ronnie when I'm not learning something. He's going to be missed dearly. And I'd have to say just as much for the few interactions I had with Bob Crampsey from 2016 through 2019 until his retirement. You know, he was another, you know, a lot of history, a lot of knowledge, definitely a big gap left there in the controller's office. Tough shoes to fill. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be almost impossible to fill the shoes of Ronnie Sheehan in the near term. But again, I'm sure the individual who eventually gets elected will kind of pick themselves up by the bootstrap, and in no time, you know, they will be bringing value added to the residents of Carbon County. The other race, the clerk of courts race, there's only one candidate for me. It's about maturity. It's about experience. It's about leadership. It's about Ty Raboni. I'll beat this dead horse all the way to November 2nd, right when the polls close at 8 o'clock. If we're talking maturity, we're talking experience, we're talking leadership, we're talking a person who can set a standard, who can set a goal and move her staff in a synchronized, coordinated manner to achieve a measurable effect. It's Ty Raboni. No one running comes close. Again, maturity, leadership, experience, results driven. Again, I can be as biased as I want, but at the end of the day, an objective evaluation, you as a voter put column A, Ty Raboni, current clerk of court seeking re-election, opponent. Put those traits and characteristics that you think are most important to run the clerk of court's office. Pros and cons, maybe weigh a couple of them. One's more important than the other, right? You add those numbers up, objectively, you will see Ty Raboni, the best option to continue to have progress in that clerk of court's office. I'll take anyone to task. I'll argue with anyone to anything different than that. Again, am I trying to convince you? Not trying to convince you, trying to get you to go head out and assess the candidate based upon their traits, their characteristics, their qualities, and what is truly in the best interest of the residents of Carbon County, the taxpayers of Carbon County, you and me. All right, then go ahead, make your selection, do that mail-in ballot, do that absentee, or go to the poll on 2 November. But choose the candidate who's going to best serve you, me, your family, your community. All right, soapbox one more time. All right, so that's election day. So real quick with the last 7 or 8 minutes, let's see what's in the papers. As always, Carbon Talks pay issues. Look, that's going to be a concept. I'm not going to dig into the details of this particular salary board, but the fact is, Carbon County is, relatively speaking, a low-wage county. I'll tell you what, though, and I'm talking county government, is a high-benefit county, right? Now, I understand you can't put food on the table with benefits, but guess what? If you don't have good benefits, you're going to be putting less food on the table. So I get it. $11.16 an hour when you can go to Walmart and get $15 an hour, and probably $1 or $1.50 more for differential. I get it. I understand it. But think about the work conditions, the quality of life associated with not necessarily having to work flex hours. I mean, working 8:30 to 4:30 for those who do, not a bad gig once you add benefits. Again, though, I don't think it's enough for the majority. It's an entry-level position at $11.16 an hour. No one says you have to stay there as a county employee. Matter of fact, you naturally go up 3% every year. Now, for a very small cadre of folks, seasonal lifeguards and rangers, they didn't annually go up 3% every year according to the pay scale. But since last year, made the push for it, it got approved, they're also on the pay scale. So again, I understand Carbon County employees, those hardworking ones, are underpaid. The underworkers are overpaid. I can walk the hall in that courthouse, in the annex, and any other building in Carbon County, and just as easily as you and I could figuratively point out the high performers and the folks who deserve more, I have no doubt you could find individuals who deserve less. That's just the way the world is. Again, I know folks don't like to hear that, but that's a reality. There's high performers, middle of the road, and low performers, and we all don't deserve the same compensation, right? You may not like where I stand, but you'll know where I stand. All right. But again, looking forward to seeing the results of that salary study to see where we're undercompensating, where we might be overcompensating individuals. Oh, Carbon awarded $50,000 for study. So it was great. Loved doing the elevator grant. And I had the opportunity to lead the development of this grant. And this is the broadband research project, really, right? It's to take a holistic look at Carbon County. It's a $50,000 grant with a $50,000 match, $40,000 from the county, $10,000 from Carbon Chamber. Well, we are going to hire consultants because we do not have the expertise to look at the existing broadband infrastructure, map it out, figure out where the gaps are, and then come up with a plan of how we fill those gaps, right? Reduce the latency, increase the speed, the connectivity, so that we as citizens here in Carbon County, we can telework, we can do telemedicine, we can teleeducate, right? The 3 principal things we want to be able to do. We want to continue to ensure we're maximizing our connectivity to continue to be an attraction area for potential employers, potential industries that we're probably couldn't even be thinking of today or imagining that could leverage higher speed connectivity like Blue Ridge Cable themselves are getting ready to roll out. So that's a $50,000 award, $100,000 for that study in total. We should see that going to bid here in the next couple months. Hate to go on a downer. KME plant to close in 2022. That is obviously extremely big news. I would have to say, heart goes out to the 388 employees. There's family members who will be impacted or are being impacted from the moment of notification. Can't imagine how difficult it is, but the county, I do know, is focused on ensuring the resources that are available are targeted to support and help those employees in their transition. As notices go out from KME. So, a week ago today, we did have Sam from CareerLink and Gary from Workforce Development talking about the programs, rapid response, and the work they're doing to first and foremost better define the demographic that's being impacted, already reaching out to potential employers. I know Carbon Chamber has already stepped up also. Lehigh Carbon Community College offering resume writing and other opportunities to help facilitate that transition. And I suspect very few workers at KME are going to wait till they're kicked out the door. If opportunity knocks, probably have to take it before the rush is on. But it's more than a 50-year institution in this area. Will close its doors in April 2022. I think for most objective folks, the writing was on the wall once it was sold. Rev Group, while up until that time, their practice was to retain the companies that they bought or businesses that they bought. This purchase was more than likely about the brand, right? The KME brand, known around the world for fire trucks, tanker trucks, saw them on Air Force bases all over the world. So they were buying the name, buying the brand, buying what's referred to as the goodwill of the company, with no true expectation of maintaining operations in a plant that wasn't nearly as efficient as 21st century plants are. But nonetheless, difficult blow here for the 388. No silver lining to this at all. I would say, though, at a macroeconomic level, that probably in about 2 years, that drop of 388 will be eclipsed by the number of new employees at St. Luke's and Lehigh Valley Health Network Hospital. Again, not the same skill set, maybe in the cleaning and some general maintenance. So there's not an easy transition, from KME to St. Luke's or LVHN, I suspect, or at least in very few job opportunities. But again, job for job, the expectation would be in about 2 years, once those hospitals are up and running and starting to expand their services, the economic employment numbers won't be any lower as they're measured today. All right, 2 carbon precincts. In regards to voting, you got 2 precincts that are returning to their normal voting location, the church in Packard and Dip. And then the other one would be, gosh darn it, is it Mahoning? That's the Mahoning, and that's the Mahoning Township one. And there's one other, let's see, let me take a quick look because I cannot remember it off. So St. Matthew's Church, let's see, will now return, District 11, there it is, will now return to St. Matthew's Church. 222 Church Street. So it was a Lehighton. And then you had the, Franklin Township, right? The Franklin Township, here it is. So last week, the County Election Board voted 2-1 to return Franklin Township Independent District 11 and Mahoning Township Packardon Jamestown District. So those are the two. The one that will not change is Broadway and Jim Thorpe. That's still going to be up at the Dilleys. So again, those folks from Mahoning Township, the Packardon Jamestown District, back to the church for sure. And Franklin Township Independent, back to the church also. All right, for the November 2nd election. So again, if you're just tuning in, this is really the end of my night. This is Carbon Matters live streaming, the Flying Solo edition. Maggie, if you're listening or when you watch later, right? Miss you dearly. Extremely difficult doing this without you. So look forward to you getting back soon. I want to thank all of you for tuning in over the past hour. Again, just trying to catch up after the summer break. If I can encourage you to do one or two things, I guess the first one I would say, and the most important is, hey, weigh your vote. Weigh your vote. Think about it, right? Treasurer, clerk of courts at the county level, those school district races, critically important to you also. Make an informed decision. Do some research before you cast that vote. Just don't vote the party, although we no longer have straight party ticket in it anymore, right? No longer straight party ticket voting. You got to press every single dot that you're going to vote on, right? Or color it in, actually. No longer can you just, boom, circle all Democrat, all Republican. So give it a little bit of thought before you color in those dots. So again, I'm going to do the challenging thing here. In this live streaming is actually coming over Zoom, using the Zoom platform through Facebook. Thank you so much for joining me. 570-503-6780. You can give me a call at 570-503-6780. The off-limit hours are 5:30 to 7:30 in the evening, 7 days a week. That's Molly, Maggie time and me. So 5:30, 7:30 off limits. But other than that, 570-503-6780. That's this phone, this cell phone right here. If you want to give me a call in the office and have to be vetted through the ladies who work there and man the desk and the phones, that's 570-325-3611. That's the county, 570-325-3611. I appreciate the opportunity to serve and to work for you every day, trying to make a difference. I'm Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich. Hope you all have a wonderful Friday and a forthcoming weekend, which is just on the horizon for all of us. Take care. Have a wonderful evening.